Hi guys, Arthur here from Homeowner DIY. Just as I finished the video last week, the drum brakes on this car behind me, this 2000 Civic, I ran into an issue with the passenger side window regulator. For some reason, the window doesn't go up and down smoothly anymore. Now guys, these window regulators, at least on this generation of Civic, the metal is pretty soft. It's not made all that well. But because you have a plastic hand crank, if you run into problems where it's tough to move the window, don't force it, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna strip out the plastic. But guys, this car is now 22 years old, so I believe that the window regulator just needs to be replaced. Like I said, I don't think the material is all that good to begin with. So really quickly, what we'll do is we'll look at the function of our window. Alright guys, so the window only rolls up this far. So we can roll the window down. That is fine, nice and smooth. And that's as far as I can go. So guys, this is also starting to kick out on this side, so the alignment is a little bit off. But based on my experience, I believe the actual frame is now as old and is stripped out. But what I'll do now is we'll do the tools list, and then we'll start by taking off the interior door panel. Alright guys, this is our tools list. So we have a small flathead, a bigger flathead, a Phillips screwdriver, needle nose pliers, and then our socket set. Guys, this is what I believe I need to do this job. Alright guys, so we have a Phillips here, and then we have a Phillips down here. Okay, so for our hand crank, there is a C-clip on the back side. So guys, this is what it looks like. So the clip goes over. So it goes over like that to hold it on, and then you have grooves, and that's what activates the hand crank. So guys, because this is manual, if it starts to get difficult, don't start turning it harder, because you'll strip out the plastic. Alright guys, next thing we'll do is we'll take off our speaker cover. So there are 3 screws. There's one here, there's one here, and there's one here that's supposed to, that screws into the door. On mine, they are missing. We'll take our cover off. And then guys, to get this out, you need to pull up and out. And guys, be careful, because the speaker is still connected. Alright guys, so we have our interior cover, which is in lousy shape. But what I'll do is I'll take off the handle here, and then we should be able to take the cover off. Alright, so the screws for this are different from the other ones. So guys, as I always say, be aware of sizes as you take them apart. Alright guys, so we'll now take our hand crank and see what we can figure out. So I can see at the front end here that the window is outside of its track. Alright guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the 2 bolts here. Alright guys, so these are 10 millimeter. So what I'm going to do is I'll take this off here, and I believe you have to go through the hole, yes, here. Alright guys, so you see how the window's on the outside? It should be right in this groove right there and there, and it's been popped out on the outside. So right now it's not aligned, but I have to figure out why that is. Alright guys, so these are all 10 millimeter. Alright guys, so I've realigned the window, I've got it back into the track. So what I'm going to do is I need to slide the window down, and then we need to raise the window regulator up to get it onto the clips. Alright guys, this is the track that it popped out of. So it's in this track here. That is our rear screw there. And then here I need to lower the window down. Alright guys, so you see the hole. So I will put the other screw back on, and then we're going to test this to see if it works. Alright guys, so I think in this case the window regulator needs to be replaced. So I'm going to go to an auto wrecker. I don't even think that you can buy these things anymore because the car is so old, but I'll go to the auto wrecker and then we'll come back and then we'll do the replacement. Alright, this is our materials list. So we have tuck tape for the inner cover, and then this is our passenger side manual window regulator. I pulled this off 96 Civic, so 96 to 2000 are all the same era. So all it is when you have your handle here and then you crank it, that's what's going to move the gears, and that just moves this up and down. Rather simple. I don't see how these things would really break down, but here we are. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead now and take out the window regulator. So once again, take your window out first. So take your two bolts out from here and here. Slide the window out. Make sure that you don't touch these other bolts before you take the window out, because it'll hold everything in place for you. So for our window regulator, we have two 10 mils here, two 10 mils here, and then two 10 mils here. All the bolts are the same length, whether it's for the window or for the window regulator. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take out the window and loosen out the regulator, and then we'll come back when I'm ready to take it out. Alright, these you can leave threaded in because they'll go through the bigger hole. Alright guys, so this is our window regulator. I would suggest leave these bolts in because you can hang the regulator off the bolts, and then you can get the other ones in. Alright guys, it seems nice and smooth. I don't think it really matters what order that you go into for tightening this up. Just one thing to keep in mind, this metal is relatively soft, so don't go reefing on it too hard. Just once it's tight, give it an extra quarter turn. But what I'll do now is I'll slide the window back in. So I managed to pull this window off a 98 Civic after my car was broken into, because it says right here. Alright, so now we'll test the window regulator. Alright, so that looks like it works. So what I'll do is I'll clean all this stuff off, and then we'll come back when I'm ready to start putting on the inner plastic. Alright guys, so we'll put the plastic cover back on. So the big clear part goes into the hole. Alright guys, so we have to take this cover off. You have to put the interior door panel back on, and then you have to slide this over. Alright guys, so we have our door panel. So what I would recommend doing is plug in your stereo, turn the car on, and make sure it's working before you actually put the door panel onto the door. Alright, now that we know the speaker works, what we'll do is we're going to put our bracket on. Alright, so our bracket goes on like this. So tighten it, give it a shake to make sure that it's solid. Alright, to get the door panel back on, what the top here needs is to fit over this rail, this lip here. Alright, so with it over the lip, all you have to do is now just smack it in. Alright, so we will now put our cover so the lip fits in behind the panel. Alright, so for our handle, we'll take our handle with our C-clip, and guys, then we still have our washer. So the easiest way I found to do this is to put the washer on, slide the handle over, and then push the handle down. Sorry, push the C-clip down. Alright, so the window closes and it opens. We will put our cover back on. Alright, and then last but not least, we'll put our stereo cover back on. Alright guys, so the very last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to close the door and then adjust my mirror so it's where I want it to be. Otherwise guys, that concludes this job. So what we'll do now is an overview of time and material. Alright guys, so that concludes this project. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the blast from the past here, because these manual window regulators, I don't think you're going to see very many of them out there anymore. I think at some point it got economical to the point where it was just cheaper to put power windows for most cars. Guys, the time on this job, the time was about 2 hours. I mean, there were no problems. I didn't run into any hiccups or anything like that. The cost of this project, the window regulator that I pulled from another car was about $30. So guys, this is a simple job. It's relatively inexpensive, and it's definitely something that is worth doing on your own. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope something here is going to help you on your project when you need to go ahead and do that. Guys, until next time, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next project.